Hey everybody, it's Rob here from the Basement Bike Shop, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a new kind of twist lace that I call Jesus lace. Now the reason I call it Jesus lace is because the pattern kind of forms a fish shaped pattern when you're done, represented like the Jesus fish that you see on the back of people's cars. But if you're not a Christian, you can call it whatever you want, fish lace or whatever you feel like calling it. Now this lace is not as strong as the double twist lace that I showed you in the last twist lace video, but it'll hold up to, say flatland, some mild street riding. I wouldn't use it if you're into big drops or dirt jumping, but it's decently strong and just a little more complicated. Also, when you start off with trying to find the spoke size, this lace is a little harder to find the exact spoke size. Sometimes when I lace this lace, I end up having to buy spokes 2 or 3 times. I usually start off 7 millimeters bigger than what I would with a 3-cross pattern, but in this one I had to drop it 2 millimeters and relace it. So I ended up about 5 millimeters bigger than I did with a 3-cross pattern. Some tools I use for this job are a truing stand, a spoke wrench, and then a spoke driver. You're going to start off lacing the wheel in a normal 3-cross pattern. Now you can do this any way you want. If you watched my 3-cross lacing video, you know that I lace wheels a little bit different than everybody else. But you can lace a 3-cross pattern any way that you'd like. The main thing about this lace though is you're actually going to go over the valve stem hole when you lace this, and it will come out in the end. So when we put in our first spokes, we're actually going to go over the valve stem hole with our cross on both sides. And when we end up finishing the lace, the cross won't be over the valve stem hole. Yeah, when I lace, I like to lace the 2 spokes that are next to each other in the rim. So I actually skip 4 holes in between. And then my next one will skip 1 hole and then go to the next 2 on the rim. And then I'll flip the rim over and do the spokes on the other side that go over the valve stem, and then continue to lace the wheel. I'll speed this up to get through it faster. But if you want to learn more about 3-cross lacing, you can check out my other video. There'll be a link on the screen right now, or there'll be a link in the description. Or if you lace 3-cross a different way, or you want to do it a different way, there are many 3-cross lacing videos on the internet. I know I have a weird way of lacing it, but that's just the way that I taught myself. Just make sure that when you do lace it 3-cross, that you are going over the valve stem, unlike a normal 3-cross pattern where you would go alongside the valve stem. And you'll see why at the end. Then after we finish lacing the 3-cross pattern, Similar to the double twist method, on the last cross on the spokes, we're going to take the nipples out and we're going to twist them once. And we're going to go all the way around the rim and do that as our step 2. It's like a 3-step process to doing this lace. Except in a double twist, we twisted it twice. And in this twist lace method, we're only going to twist it once. So we're going to pull the 2 spokes out that cross. And going with the cross, we're going to twist it once. Careful not to kink the spokes. And then put them back in the holes. And we're going to put the nipples back on just so that the spokes stay where we want them to until we get to the next step. I'll speed this up to make it go a little bit faster. We're just going to go around the rim, doing one side at a time, putting one twist in each of the last crosses. Now if you laced it correctly, doing one side you'll twist counterclockwise and the other side will twist clockwise. And then once we do the last cross, your rim should look something like this. Now what we're going to do is the 2 spokes that look like they run parallel, . we are going to cross those spokes. So we did one extra twist, and now we're going to do one extra cross. And this is going to free up the hole where your valve stem is too in the process. Now when I do this, the spoke that is going over, I run under, and the spoke that is going under the other twist, I run over. And this is where our fish pattern starts to form. We'll put our nipples back in. This will be the last time we put the nipples in. Be sure when you're doing this, if it's a double-walled rim, you don't accidentally drop a nipple into the rim. That's always a pain to get out. Then we'll move on to the next two spokes that seem to run somewhat parallel. Now your twist and your cross may look a little bit lopsided at first as you do this, but when you tighten up the whole wheel, then it will all start to take shape and look very uniform. I'll speed this up a little bit. You're basically going to continue the same process around the rim and then flip it over and do the other side. Then we'll flip it over to do the other side. I like to give a little push on the hub just to give me a little more slack on the spokes when I'm lacing. And I'm just putting a couple of turns on each nipple just to get it started, and so it's holding, just to give me enough room to work, and we'll tighten the whole wheel up later. Then once we get to the last two spokes, it should be somewhat of a reach. That lets me know that I at least have close to the right size. And that's where I use my spoke driver or nipple driver. And a lot of times you can just use a flathead screwdriver. The only difference is the nipple driver just has a little bump in the middle, so it locks into the nipple without slipping off. And then you're all done with the lacing part. You can see that our valve stem is open now because of the way we started out. And then we'll put it in our truing stand and start to tighten it. Like all my other laces, whenever I lace a wheel, I start by just turning in, watching the thread on each spoke and how much is exposed. And then tightening it so that, you know, if I have 2 millimeters exposed or 1 millimeter exposed, just so I tighten it evenly without tightening it all the way, because I want to tighten it evenly all the way around the rim. So it's better to start out with less than more. You know, if you want to leave 2 millimeters exposed at first, go all the way around the rim, then take it to 1 millimeter of thread exposed, go all the way around the rim, and then no threads exposed. But when the rim starts to tighten up, that's when you want to start using the arm on the truing stand to make sure that you're tightening it evenly. But for now, we're just trying to snug up all the spokes, but doing it slowly and evenly. So after going all the way around and tightening the spokes till 2 millimeters were showing, we're still really loose. So we'll take it to no thread showing in between the spoke and the nipple. And we'll go around the rim, tightening it to that point. Then after that, I give my spokes just a little stretch. Make sure that the twist is seated in the right spot. And then I'll go ahead and tighten it up just a little more. But at this point, I'll bring the truing stand arm into place, making sure that as I tighten it, if it needs to be pulled to the left or to the right to be centered, that I'm tightening it in the right direction. So I might put a half twist on each one, but if it needs to be pulled to the right, then on the right spokes I might go 3/4 of a twist and a half twist on the left spokes, just so that I'm staying in the realm of straight. It'll make truing it later a whole lot easier if I follow that pattern. Now with this lace, a lot of times your traditional spoke wrench won't fit in there. Mine is kind of diamond shaped, so it fits in a little bit easier. But a lot of times when I do this lace, I have to true it with my spoke driver. And then after you get it to the tension that you want, then you can true it just like a normal wheel. And if you need help with that, you can check out my truing and straightening video. There'll be a link on the screen right now, or you can click on the link in the description. And that just about wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get into some more twist lace videos because they seem to be popular, although realize that they're not as strong as your regular 3-cross or 4-cross pattern. It's just to do something different, be a little artistic with your wheels. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, you can leave a comment below, or you can send me an email. If you like what I'm doing, you want to see more of it, you can go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, and I'll keep these videos coming. Thanks a lot for watching.